It's lighting techniques day, and I thought, I'd show you a bit of how do I light up my cars. Okay, this is gonna be hard. What's up everyone, Peter McCann style. My name is Mo and I'm a car photographer from Bahrain. If it's your first time around this channel and you'd like to learn all about car photography, go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss out on all the cool stuff that I create every week. Now if you have any lighting tip that you'd like to share with us, leave us a comment in the comment section below. Now if you've been following me along on Instagram or on YouTube, you would know that I'm a fan of shooting during the day, so I really love shooting with natural light rather than using a strobe, or using a strobe to complement the natural light that I have. And sometimes it's just not the case. You've got clients that would require shooting at night, or you would like to try something new, or just simply take it as a challenge. Let's shoot at night, let's see how we can light up the car, come up with something more exciting. Now shooting at night, that means a challenge. You need to find a way to shape up light to light up your car. Now I'm going to show you one of the lighting techniques that I use and how I applied it on two different shots. I'm going to start with the Miami blue Porsche. Now I'll always start with this exposure, and it has the headlights and the tail light, in which I'm going to comp in into Photoshop later on. And now I'm going to walk you through the other shots. Now this is the first shot, and I usually start from the front of the car towards the end of the car. And I'll tell you why. The main reason why I do that is the side mirror. Now imagine if you've started the shots from the back to the front. That will basically cause a big problem here. The flash or the light will hit the mirror, and then that will reflect back on the car, and then you'll have something odd there, which is something that you definitely want to avoid. So general rule, always start from the front of the car towards the end of the car. Now moving onwards with the rest of the shots, there's one thing that you would notice that I'm being consistent with is the height of the strobe, and the power, the height, and the angle of the strobe. They all matter with these kind of shots. Now the reason why you would want to remain consistent is you don't want the exposure to be different on different type or different parts of the car, and that will give you more of an even light across the car. Now another thing worth noting is the way I strobe the car. If you notice, the strobe is not pointing towards the car, but rather to the side. Makes any sense? All right, let me explain that to you. All right, this is the modifier that I use. This is the zoom reflector for Profoto B1. And imagine if the car was here. I wouldn't be shooting this way, but rather that way. So I'm getting the spill over of the flash, and that will give you a really nice quality of light that looks really awesome in these type of shots. And you will see that across the different shots that I took. Now I would also get different exposures for the wheels, the front and the back, and that's something that I will comp in into Photoshop. Another thing that I usually do is actually take an exposure for the wall or the background, and that will be added later on into Photoshop. The one thing that I did not account in for this picture is the ground exposure. Now I was able to fix it into Photoshop. Now what I could have done is basically change the modifier to a strip box 1.4, raise the flash up high on the car, and then strobe downwards, and that will give you an even lighting for the ground and the shadows of the car. But yeah, I always get excited and forget things in the process. Now with this shot of the TTRS, we've done it a bit differently. Well, let me explain. Every car is different and unique. The Porsche's shape is more smooth and kind of curvy, while this has sharper curves, and it has a just different style and look than the Porsche. So the lighting would differ from this car to the Porsche. Now, like I said, every car is different, so you need to find the right way of lighting that car up. Now, it wasn't so much different. I had the same flash, I had the same strobe, I had the same modifier. We couldn't get the same shots that we got with a Porsche. And so I added one more thing to this shot, and that is a light stand. So I had the Profoto strobe with the same modifier, however I had to raise it higher in order to get these shots. Now, let me walk you through them just one by one. So I had the front shot, so I always start with the front, and then I just took a shot with every step. So I only moved one step with every shot. Now you'd notice that I had a bit of reflection down here, which we didn't have the same issue with the Porsche, and that's just like I said, different curve, different shape will give you different reflections, different way of lighting. So I had to get rid of it in Photoshop. But one thing you'd notice, again, with this shot, I remain consistent with my strobe. The height of the strobe and the distance between the strobe and the car as well matters. And this is an overexposed shot, and I just wanted to show you the setup. So I had the light stand, had the Photo B1 with a modifier, strobe facing down but not entirely towards the car, just straight up. And I also took multiple shots of the wall, and of course different shots for the front and the back wheel, which I'm going to comp into Photoshop later on. I also took this shot, which is the front light and the back light, which I'm going to comp into Photoshop as well. And I ended up with this look. So moral of the story, always experiment with your light. Don't just give up. Use different modifiers. Some of the shots might require a zoom reflector, and some of the shots might just require a 1x4 strip box. So understand that every car is different and you need to light them up differently. Well, YouTube, we've reached towards the end of this video. Now, within the next video, I'm going to show you and walk you through how I edited them in Adobe Photoshop. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have any questions, do leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.